How does a movie with 21 stars, a dozen love stories, and an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes still make you want to rewatch it every February? Today, we're digging into Garry Marshall's Valentine's Day and why this beautiful disaster of a rom-com works precisely because it shouldn't. Let's start with the obvious. The cast: Ashton Kutcher, Jennifer Garner, Julia Roberts, Bradley Cooper, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Alba, Jessica Biel, Jamie Foxx, Patrick Dempsey, Taylor Swift, Taylor Lautner, Queen Latifah, Shirley MacLaine, Emma Roberts, Topher Grace, Eric Dane, Hector Elizondo, and George Lopez. That's not a movie. That's a Hollywood roll call. Roger Ebert wasn't exaggerating when he asked what other movies were supposed to do for talent while this one was filming. The ensemble is so massive that it creates its own kind of gravitational pull, where every few minutes a new famous face appears and your brain short circuits trying to remember which storyline they belong to. And that's part of the charm. The film doesn't give you time to settle into one narrative before throwing you into the next. A florist proposes to his girlfriend at sunrise. A teacher discovers her boyfriend is married. Two high schoolers plan to lose their virginity. A football player contemplates coming out. An army captain flies cross-country for a mysterious reunion. A phone sex operator hides her side hustle from her new boyfriend. It's a lot. It's genuinely, almost hilariously, too much. But there's something about the sheer velocity of it all that keeps you watching. You can't look away because you never know whose mess you're about to land in next. Critics tore this movie apart, and honestly, they weren't wrong. The Rotten Tomatoes consensus says the film squanders its promise with a frantic, episodic plot and an abundance of rom-com cliches. That tracks. None of these characters are more than two-dimensional. We barely learn anyone's backstory, their motivations are surface level at best, and the emotional arcs resolve in minutes rather than over a full narrative journey. Jessica Alba's character exists mostly to say yes to a proposal, and then immediately regret it. Kathy Bates and Taylor Lautner are practically glorified extras, and Patrick Dempsey's married doctor literally announces his infidelity to a stranger in a flower shop like it's a normal Tuesday errand. But here's the thing about Valentine's Day that most reviews miss. It was never trying to be Love Actually. It wasn't going for emotional depth or character complexity. It was going for feeling, for the messy, sugar-coated, overly optimistic sensation of a holiday that most people simultaneously love and dread. The film is structured like the holiday itself, full of expectations that crumble, surprises that catch you off guard, and moments of sweetness wedged between total chaos. It doesn't need three-dimensional characters because it's not about the individuals. It's about the collective experience of being human on a day that demands you perform love whether you're ready or not. There's a reason movies like this stick around despite the critical beatdown. Valentine's Day grossed over $216 million worldwide against a $52 million budget. It opened to $56 million in its first weekend alone, which is virtually unheard of for a rom-com. Audiences didn't flock to this movie because it was a masterpiece. They showed up because it was familiar, warm, and required absolutely nothing from them except to sit back and let the pretty people sort out their love lives. That's the power of comfort food cinema. These are the movies you watch in your pajamas with snacks and zero expectations. They don't challenge you. They don't make you think too hard. They just wrap you in predictable romance tropes and let you feel something soft for 2 hours. And in a world that's constantly demanding your emotional bandwidth, sometimes that's exactly what you need. The nostalgia factor only deepens this over time. Watching Valentine's Day in 2026 is like opening a time capsule of late 2000s Hollywood, when rom-coms still got theatrical releases. Taylor Swift was just starting to act, and Bradley Cooper hadn't yet become an Oscar-nominated director. It's a snapshot of a specific era of celebrity culture, and that makes it oddly precious now, even if it didn't feel that way at the time. What makes Valentine's Day secretly interesting is how many of its storylines end in disappointment rather than happiness. Engagements fall apart, marriages are exposed as fraudulent, teenagers decide they're not ready for sex. A woman discovers she's the other woman. For a film marketed as a feel-good Valentine's Day romp, there's a surprising amount of disillusionment baked into the plot. Some fans have even interpreted the film as an accidental critique of the holiday itself, exposing the commercialization of romance while appearing to celebrate it. The roses, the proposals, the grand gestures are all there, but they keep falling apart on contact with reality. And then there are the moments that genuinely land. Julia Roberts' character flying across the country not for for a boyfriend, but for her son. Shirley MacLaine confessing a decades-old affair to Hector Elizondo. Jennifer Garner's raw, satisfying revenge scene after learning about Dempsey's betrayal. NPR's Ella Taylor even noted that Marshall genuinely loves women, giving Garner and Hathaway some of the most satisfying emotional payoffs in the entire film. These moments work not because they're earned through meticulous storytelling, but because the actors bring their own warmth to paper-thin material. They make you care in spite of the script, not because of it. So how does a movie this messy still work? Because sometimes love itself is messy. Because sometimes you don't need perfect storytelling to feel something real. Valentine's Day is a giant, gorgeous, chaotic box of assorted chocolates. Some pieces are stale, some are filled with something you didn't expect, and a few are genuinely delicious. You're never gonna love every single one, but you keep reaching in anyway, because the experience of it, the abundance, the sweetness, the imperfection is the whole point. This is Ladies First, watching women in movies. Here, we empower women by reviewing and discussing films that highlight their stories, struggles, and achievements. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.